Hi, my name is Bridget Munro, and the name of my collection is Punch It, and it's inspired by the two sports of boxing and ballet. I was really inspired by the duality of both of the sports, because on the surface, I think they seem like complete opposites. One of them is sort of raw and aggressive and gritty, and the other is much more refined, elegant, and feminine, even. And I think both come together because they both require such incredible discipline, physical intensity, and the emotional expression of both of them. So I wanted to kind of explore that space where they combine and sort of where sportswear and intimate apparel combine as well. Um, and I wanted to see what kind of happens when we combine these two such drastic and different, but ultimately fundamentally similar sports. And it was a really great inspiration for me because especially for the prompt of athletic wear and intimate apparel. And it led me to reimagine the garments that athletes wear and sort of blending support and structure and softness and femininity and power. So that was where my inspiration really came from. And as for my color palette, I chose sort of a romantic, a lot of blush tones palette that were kind of grounded with the darker brown and deeper colors of boxing, like even trying to pay homage a little bit to the leather, the color of leather and brown, combined with sort of the vulnerability kind of the human body and the ballet, the vulnerability there, sort of to symbolize the resilience, strength, and the grit behind both the performance of boxing and ballet. I think together the color story really shows a contrast, but there's also a balance to it as well. Um, and for the process of color, so I love selecting colors and combining them. And due to the materials that we were given, I was able to dye them pretty in a unique way. And I wanted, so I did a hand dyeing techniques that kind of create a slightly imperfect and more human quality, sort of like when you see boxers and you see kind of sweat marks or marks from the ground or something. I kind of wanted to give that into it as well. But I wanted to also to feel organic and like they evolved a little bit through motion and contact with the body, which I think was important for this. As for elements I used from the box we were provided, almost the entirety of the bodysuit that I made is made from the stretch spandex material that we were provided with, that I dyed to the colors of my choosing. And I used the panel of the beautiful mesh lace fabric they gave to us as well. And then as for the sweatshirt, much of it is made with the spandex, or I'm sorry, the jersey knit fabric that we were provided with. I used that for some paneling. I also combined it with a sweatshirt, a heavier sweatshirt material, but I also used it for the designs on the front, the motif number, and the binding as well for the seams is jersey knit as well. And as for special construction techniques that I used a lot of kind of specifically engineered panels on the and seams that gave the body a lot of shape. And then I added boning into them as well to give it more structure. And they're kind of covered and complemented with an elastic, a decorative elastic, which I thought tied it all back into intimate apparel a little bit. And I think it provides a connection to athletic wear and intimate apparel with the structure, but also the delicacy of the elastic. And so my look consists of two pieces. I have an oversized Billman sleeve sweatshirt and a fitted bodysuit underneath. So for the sweatshirt, it's sort of intentionally voluminous and it has a relaxed silhouette, which I was trying to symbolize sort of the cocoon-like covering that you see on boxers when they're warming up, but as well as a ballet warm-up outfit as well. And it sort of reference both the grace and the drama of ballet, but also provides that sort of like powerful and oversized energy that you see in the boxing robes. And underneath is the bodysuit, I'm sorry, which is the base layer. So it's sort of sleek, supportive, form-fitting, but it's also constructed with athletic stretch fabrics that we were provided with and the mesh lace. So it sort of merges the functionality of athletic wear with the grace and sensuality of intimate apparel. And like I mentioned before, it has the subtle detailing of the elastic. And I thought that gives it kind of a nod to both lingerie and sportswear. And so more about me. I am I've always been interested in intimate apparel. I think that was really what drew me into the fashion industry more because I really like the idea that it's you're designing what someone is wearing closest to their skin, and it's so personal and it holds so much power really, and it can completely change the way that someone carries themselves. I've always, even in the apparel industry in general, I always like the way that fashion can have such an effect on your confidence and how you carry yourself. But intimate apparel, I think, is specifically designed for that. And the confidence and the comfort that you give underneath exactly the clothing is, I think, the most important. So for me, lingerie and intimate apparel wear are sort of where the design become like storytelling. So every seam and fabric choice is has to be so thought out with such intention and care in intimate apparel. And I think that mindset kind of shaped how I have been approaching my designs in the intimate apparel realm because even when I'm creating something sporty and oversized, like the hoodie that I'm making, you still have to think, how does it move with the body? How does it make someone feel, not just look, but also look as well. And looking ahead, I think I see myself continuing in the intimate apparel industry. Of course, I really want to kind of cast a wide net and learn as much as I can and take as many opportunities as possible to learn maybe where exactly I fit in the intimate apparel industry. But ultimately, I do want to just design pieces that, like I said, support people physically, emotionally, and that make people feel confident and strong. And I think that's all.